In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to use GIMP to remove the background from an image. The technique that I'll be showing you is particularly useful if you have a lot of detail in the foreground that's mixed in with the background, like you see with these hairs here on the ostrich head. This technique, however, will not work with all images. Your image needs to have a lot of brightness contrast between the foreground and the background. And you'll notice that these hairs here are pretty bright compared to the background. So this image will work well. So to start, make a duplicate of the layer that you have, and you can do that with the duplicate button right here. And then make sure that you have the top layer selected, and then go up to the Colors menu and select Threshold. This will turn your image into a black and white image. And by adjusting the slider here, you can determine which colors are black and which colors are white. And so I'm going to adjust this here until I get good contrast between the edges of the foreground and the background. And I don't care about the middle of the foreground right now, just the edge where the foreground meets the background. And I want to make sure that I keep all of the detail in the foreground that is originally there, but get rid of as much of the background as I can. And this looks pretty good right here. So I'll select OK to accept this. And now go over to your Paintbrush tool. I'm going to click this little button right here so that I can set these to black and white. And then I'll use this arrow right here so I can bring the white to the foreground. And I'm going to color in the foreground here white. And it doesn't really matter which color the foreground and the background color is, just as long as one of them is black and one of them is white. And I'll shrink the brush down a little bit. Go ahead and set this to about there, so I can turn this area right here white. And then I'll select the black color here. And let me scale up my brush again. And I'll just color in all of this background here black. And this shouldn't take too long. And next I'll go over to the Select by Color tool, which is this button right here, and click on that. And then I just need to click anywhere here on this black surface to select it. And now all of this black background is selected. And next we need to add an alpha channel to our image. So click on your image layer right here, and then right click, and then select Add Alpha Channel. And if you already have an alpha channel, then this will be grayed out. And by adding an alpha channel, that will allow us to make parts of our image transparent. And now we can go back up to this black and white layer that we had, and we no longer need that layer, so you can go ahead and delete that using the delete button. And now since we have this background selected, we can just press the delete key and the background is deleted. And now we can turn off the selection by going to the Select menu and click None. And now we need to do a little touch-up work. And in order to see what we're doing a little bit better, we're going to add a black background to this now. And we can do that by clicking on the Create New Layer button. And then since my foreground color is currently black right here, we just need to click on Foreground Color for the layer fill type and press OK. And then we want to move this new background layer to the bottom. So we can do that by using the green down arrow. And now we can start touching up. So I'll zoom in so I can see better. And you'll notice that I still have some of the background that's in this area right here. So to remove that, I'll go back up to the Select Color tool, which is this button. And this tool allows me to select a range of colors. And you set the range by using this slider right here. The higher this number, the more colors will be selected. I typically use threshold values of 15 to 30. So I'm going to start with 15, and then make sure that your image layer is selected. And then I'll just click on some of this green right here. And then I can use the eraser tool to erase the selected areas. Then I'll click on the Select by Color tool again and select another shade of green, And then I'll select the eraser again and erase that area. And I'll just repeat this a couple of times until I've removed the sections of the background that are still remaining. Then I see that there's a little more down here. So I'll get rid of that. And then I'll get this area right here. And then you'll notice that oftentimes when you use this technique, that the foreground, these hairs that I have right here, take on the color of the background. And I can fix that by going over to the image layer, right-click, and select Alpha to Selection. And then I'll select the Color Picker tool. Then I'll choose some color that I want these hairs to be. And I'm going to choose the color right here that's kind of a grayish color. And then I'll choose the Airbrush tool. And then I can just airbrush these areas right here, and it'll change them from the background color to the hair color that I want. So that looks good. And then I'll zoom out and look for other areas that I need to work on. And so here's an area right here. So I'm going to choose the Select by Color tool again and click on this area. And then I'll use the Eraser tool to remove that. Then I'll zoom out and I'll finish my inspection here. Okay, that looks good on this side. And that looks good over on that side. So now the only place that I have left is right here around the mouth area. So first I'll deselect everything by using the Select menu and select None. And I'll zoom in here. And I can use the Eraser tool to just easily get rid of this. And I'll delete that too. And so then for this mouth area, I can just use the Lasso tool, or it's called the Free Select tool. I'll click on that, and then I'll just start right here, and I'll click, and I'll just move this over to the next spot, and then click again, and I'll just go along here until I have this whole area selected. And then to finish this, I just click on my starting point. And now I have this area selected, and I can just press the Delete key. And then I'll remove my selection again and zoom out. So that's how you can remove the background from an image. Well, that concludes this video. Well, thanks for watching, and please subscribe and leave a comment.